Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and today we will do a full breakdown and analysis of NNDM stock. We will dive into what stock reporters, economists, and analysts think of Nano Dimension, and then I will tell you why I personally do not hold Nano Dimension stock directly in my portfolio. Remember to like this video right now for more stock news updates, subscribe if you are new, comment down below your thoughts, and I am working on how to get you all more free money other than Webull. Webull is a free brokerage app where you can buy and sell stocks, options, and cryptocurrencies, but right now you can get 2 free stocks with Webull. You can get the first free stock, which can be worth anywhere from $2 to $250 for just creating an account, and you can get a second free stock, which can be worth up to $1,600 if you invest $100 or more on your first deposit. You will have a 1 in 100 chance of getting stocks like Facebook, Starbucks, or Snapchat, and you have a 1 in 50 chance of getting stocks like Google or Procter & Gamble. To get this offer, just press on the link in my description box down below, but do it quickly because this offer will not last forever. And without further ado, let's get into today's stories. As we all probably know, Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, is an Israeli company that specializes in producing 3D printed electronics like sensors, antennas, and most notably printed circuit boards, also known as PCBs. Nano Dimension also supplies hardware, software, management tools, nanochemistry, prototyping, and customer manufacturing products. Their main clients are involved in consumer electronics, medical devices, aerospace, defense, telecommunications, and the automotive industry. Right now, Nano Dimension relies heavily on selling their 3D printing machines that cost around $350,000 per printer. However, Nano Dimension wants to mainly sell their ink cartridges for their machines as their main source of reoccurring revenue, because their customers will always run out of ink and be forced to buy more. Nano Dimension also makes revenues from their software, support services, and making specialty products for their customers that they offer as a service. This pie chart shows a graphical representation of their main revenue sources, which would be their printers, their support services, and their consumables. Right now, printers make about 64%, and the other two are both lower than 20%. The goal is to have their consumables, which includes their inks, to make up more than 64% of their overall revenues. The 3D printing industry provides the opportunity to revolutionize manufacturing, but the problem is that it needs to prove that it can produce products in mass and not simply prototyping. Right now, the 3D printing electronics market is expected to grow by a compounding annual growth rate of 39.5% over the next 7 years, which is very impressive, but NNDM focuses on a smaller niche within this industry that grows at a compounding rate of 24% a year, and that will last over the next decade. In this graphical representation, it shows us that it could be better to invest into an ETF similar to PRNT rather than NNDM stock, just because it has a higher compounding annual growth rate. But to add to that, NNDM currently has their niche market all to themselves, so this would provide Nano Dimension stock with a greater growth opportunity, but with much higher risk than an ETF. Nano Dimension and NNDM stock could be a huge success story, but this depends on their success of prototyping. But what they really need is for their machines to be able to produce in mass quantities, and for the manufacturing industry to adopt their more efficient technology, because right now the market for printed circuit boards is worth $71 billion. If Nano Dimension can fully infiltrate this market and prove their worth, then it's game over. With Nano Dimension's proprietary nanoconductive and dielectric inks that are designed specifically for making PCBs, this should be no problem. Now, they will just need to market their products' reliability, show clients that their technology is faster and more efficient. They will need to explain how this technology allows companies to keep their intellectual property and research private, because now companies will not have to give away their blueprints or secrets or formulas to third-party manufacturers to make the products for them. If they have a Nano Dimension printing machine, they can simply make it themselves. Right now, Nano Dimension says that they are 2 years ahead of any competition. However, with the PCB market being so lucrative, many 3D printing companies are working right now to compete with Nano Dimension. Currently, Nano Dimension stock is in a slump because their stock price is high compared to their revenue growth. But if Nano Dimension shatters predictions, or if they announce an acquisition, then the stock price is sure to rise. Nano Dimension has over a $2 billion market capitalization with less than 4 million million in revenues to show for it, with an average 5-year cash burn rate of $10 million per year. If Nano Dimension does not use the millions of dollars that they've gotten from diluting the stock price, Nano Dimension can survive up to 5 to 6 years before needing money or any revenue. So hopefully at this point they will be profitable. However, if Nano Dimension decides to use this money for an acquisition, which is what I think they're gonna do, the stock price will rise momentarily and then go back down. So make sure to trade it wisely, or if you have a very low average price, just ride it out. This slide shows that Nano Dimension may not be the best opportunity cost in the 3D printing industry compared to the likes of MTLS, DDD, and DM. But Nano Dimension is in a niche that none of those other companies are in, so they definitely have a huge first mover advantage. Analysts predict that Nano Dimension should have high sales growth over the next decade because demand is rising for AME technology and electronics, and they also have a decent long-term growth rate. Currently, NNDM is the king of PCBs, but be warned that competition is on its way. Economists tend to not like stocks with low free floats, and NNDM stock is no exception to this rule. Unless an acquisition comes soon, it could be a while before NNDM stock pays off. For me, I personally like ETF investing, so I own NNDM shares inside of a few of my ETFs, but I do not hold NNDM stock directly because the risk to reward ratio is way too high for my taste. I would rather bet on the whole 3D printing industry to succeed and get the benefits of the winners instead of just betting on NNDM stock. Now, I am delighted that Kathy Wood of ARK Invest sees potential in Nano Dimension, but some reporters think that the company is just a money grab. And I see this point because first NNDM was on an Israeli stock exchange, which ended badly for their investors because management literally diluted their shares every year while promising growth until the stock was basically worthless. So the company then moved to a US stock exchange and could potentially do the same thing. And this aligns because the CEO does have a history of making and selling companies. However, I do not think that will happen again, especially this time for a plethora of reasons that are too in-depth to get into right now. However, I do think that they will get multiple acquisition targets, and I believe Kathy Wood knows exactly what company her and her team have invested in. There is no doubt that NNDM stock has amazing growth potential, and I am bullish on NNDM stock, and I hope you all are managing your risk investments well. Remember to like this video right now, subscribe if you are new, comment down below your thoughts, and I will see all of you in the next YT video.